What up, what up, what up? Hey guys, how you living? Robert here. Welcome back to the channel. Four ways for you to know if you're ready to buy a home. That's the purpose of the video today. I'm tired of all of the BS. I'm going to give it to you straight. So for those of you that are used to me being a little more, what's the word? Trying not to offend anybody, this ain't the video. So if you don't want to see me in that light, y'all click off right now. Without further ado, let's get into it. This is the number one reason or way for you to know if you're ready to buy a home. Okay. And it's if you're struggling to pay your current rent, you're not ready to buy a home. I know that sounds like an elementary step, but you would be surprised. You'd be surprised. I'll say that at the number of people that I speak with, they submit an application and they have several broken leases within the most recent 24 months on their credit report. If you can't afford your current rent, what makes you think you would be able to afford not only a mortgage payment, but the maintenance that comes with the house? Don't lie to yourself. Number one, again, if you're struggling to pay your rent, you're not ready to buy a house. Number two, if you're living on your credit cards, you're not ready to buy a house. Ladies and gentlemen, how do you know if you're living on your credit cards? There's a term for you in the credit industry, and you're called a revolver. Not the pew pew, but a revolver, meaning you never, ever pay off the balance. Okay? And that is a great sign, canary in the coal mine, that you are not ready to buy a home. And so pull out your bank statements. Go back 3 months so you can project forward 2 and look at where you're spending your money. More importantly, buy now, pay later. Have you gone from credit cards to buy now, pay later type of accounts? Accounts that don't require you to go through the traditional qualification process in which you have to validate and confirm the income that you have coming in so you could get said credit. Those are great indicators that you cannot afford a home of any size, because homes require ongoing maintenance, taxes, insurance, yard. If you're in an apartment, there's stuff that comes along with it. If nothing else in this year, I want to kill this myth that there is some type of heaven for homes where you just buy a home and everything is just lilies and lilacs. That's not the case. You have to make it that way, right? So that's the number one. Number two reason, if you're living on credit cards, meaning you never pay them off, okay, and you've graduated to buy now, pay later type things for things such as groceries, everyday living expenses. I'll just say it that way. And this is not to shame you or for you to feel bad, but this should be a glaring siren, trumpet, red flag for you to know I don't have enough income. And so why would you put yourself in a situation where you know that the minimum is the principal and interest payment, but it's ongoing costs to maintain a home? I've literally heard 6 people recently say, you know what, I want to buy a home and use one of the government insured loans, FHA, VA, USDA, because when I stop paying my mortgage, I won't get evicted as quickly. We hustling backwards, guys. That's not the move. Okay. And so as we move forward, the number three-way, or the third thing that you can look at to determine if you're ready to buy a home, is if you're missing payments on liabilities, debt obligations that you've agreed to pay on time, all the time, every time. If you're missing those payments, why would you think it's a good idea to even entertain buying a home? So, car payments delinquent, student loan payments delinquent, credit card balances that you've run up and just decided not to pay. These are ways for lenders to evaluate your character, your credit, your capacity, your income, and or collateral. What kind of assets do you have? These are the things that those 4 C's allow us to bring out when making a lending decision. But at the end of the day, these are things that you guys have to know. And if I'm not speaking to you, you don't have to get upset. If these things resonate, then I'm speaking to you. Everybody else, chill. Because we have to start having these types of conversations and stop with all of the fluffy sales type stuff, because YouTube is about learning. Okay. It's about growing. It's about gathering this information from a 20-year plus industry, successful industry insider as it pertains to residential real estate. And some of the things that I continue to see is just, we have to do more educating along these lines and speak directly to you. Okay. So before I go into the fourth thing, I want to sit on this missing payment some more. Like I said, auto loans, student loans, credit cards that you haven't paid for, and you think someone is going to be able to clean this stuff off your record. Here's another one, guys. Bankruptcy is a tool that was designed to deal with people if they've fallen into a hardship. It's not a tool to be abused, to use over and over again, because your character has flaws. Because when they get rid of it, you're going to mess it up for those coming behind you, you see. And so if you've filed a Chapter 7 bankruptcy, or if you're in a wage earner plan on a Chapter 13, you cannot miss any payments in the 13 wage plan, or after completely wiping out all your debt with a Chapter 7 and restart, have late payments after the Chapter 7. Y'all make that make sense to me. Come on now. Some of us are in the thief category. We got to break out of that, man. And the reason I'm so passionate about this, I just left a state where the poverty level is low, and a lot of folks that watch my channel and are trying to elevate themselves in this system, this game that we're in, what's holding you back are these things that I'm talking about. Or as my mother-in-law said, you're doing it, we're doing it to ourselves. Because we all have areas where, we do it to ourselves. But this is why I'm so passionate about this. So you can't have missing payments, and you shouldn't even be thinking about buying anything until you identify how to increase your value in the marketplace to make more money. Because that's what the real problem is, right? And so the last thing that you can use to determine if you should buy a house is, do you have any money? I'm doing that for entertainment purposes. Money, dinero, Skrilla, Manyan, dead presidents. You guys put down in the comment section whatever the slang is around your way. Do you have any money saved? Blows my mind. I'm looking at applications and bank statements. $5, $300, Guys, take the purchase price of the homes that you're looking at that you fancy when you're looking. Minimum as a buyer, it takes 6% to get into a house. I don't care what nobody tells you. This is the truth. Okay. Minimum is 6%. And depending on where you are in these United States, it could be higher because taxes and or insurance could be higher in those areas. But the minimum you have to have is 6%. Now, watch this. That's my bedtime. It's time for me to take a nap. So watch this. If you're buying a home and the minimum is 6%, 200,000, okay? 6 times 2, 12, right? 12 grand. Say you got an income tax return, 12 grand. That's all the money you have. Does it make sense to buy a house? No, it doesn't, right? Because if you're getting back 12 grand in a lot of instances, that tells me that your income is low, probably have some child care credits. And I've had children spend a lot of money. It costs a lot of money to raise a family, right? And so I know you want to have a home with stability and things of that nature, but you got to have money. Minimum 6. Here's my new mindset. Any purchase price, you need to have $30,000 saved due to inflation. You know, if you adjusted $30K for inflation, it might be 12 grand and, you know, real or not real money, you know, as far as the spending power is concerned. So 20 to 30,000. And if that's blowing your mind, you're not ready to buy. You need to rent and build the muscle to save that money. Okay. And figure out why you can't pay your rent on time. Okay. Why you're living on credit cards and why you're missing payments. And I know the answer is because you don't have enough income to cover those things, or you have a spending problem and you need to find out what's going on, because going forward, things are going to increase in cost. And eventually you're going to find yourself where you have no options. And then you have to live with everyone else that has no options. And coming from a place, at one point in my life when I was younger, living around people that have no options, that's not something I wanted to do. You guys decide for yourself. So you've been asking me to give you some more real type videos. We're going to start doing so. We'll see if what you're saying is true, because actions speak louder than words. So if the views run up, we understand, and I'll do more content like this. Okay. But if not, I'm going to continue to add the actual steps of how to get into a home and how to prepare to keep the home. That's the goal. That's how you build the wealth. You have to go through it to get to it. You got to endure until the end so you can pass it down. That's the generational wealth, if that's what you want to do, right? Or take care of your future self. So to recap, if you're struggling to pay your current rent, man, get that together. You can't afford a house. Why? Because the house initial payment, that's the initial, it's going up. Why is it going up, Robert? Taxes and insurance. Why are taxes and insurance going up? Because you have more people, more homes, everything that's going on geopolitically. The purchasing price of the dollar is coming down. There's a plethora of reasons why it takes more dollars to buy the same goods. That's why. Okay. So you have to know that up front, and don't be naive and watch these channels that just talk about the endorphin hit when you buy the house, because you do have that. But now you got to maintain it. So that's why I say, if you can't pay your rent, or if you're struggling paying your rent, don't need to buy. That's number one. Number two, in recap, you're living on the credit cards and you buy now and paying later, and Klarna and all these other places, lying to yourself. Don't lie to yourself, right? eventually that's going to come to an end. You got to figure out the money situation. Number 3, you're missing payments. Your car payment late, repo, possession on a car. You got broken leases, never your fault. You have, what else am I seeing? Non-sufficient funds fees on the bank statement. Come on, player. NSFs on your bank statement, and you trying to borrow hundreds of thousands of dollars? You need to ask yourself, this is what you need to start asking yourself. Would you lend you money? That's what you need to ask. Would you lend you $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000? Okay. So, missing payments. And then the last one, I'm saying 30K. You need 30K, right? And I explained to you, in my head, 30K is really 12,000. Okay. And so if it takes 6% and you had to pay all of that to get into a home, then you have some monies left over to take care of the maintenance, not catastrophes, maintenance, the air filter, the pre-emergent that goes on the grass, watering the grass, maintaining the property so that when it's time to either sell up or downsize, whatever you're going to do, you can take advantage of one of the greatest tax credits in these United States, in the whole world, where if, as a single person, and you have a primary residence, you can make up to $250,000 and not pay any capital gains tax on it. $500 if you're a couple. So there you have it. I want you guys, if you're wanting to learn more about buying and you're serious, not a tire kicker, right? And when I say serious, you're not, the 4 things that I just went over aren't present in your life, okay? But you're serious and you have those things checked. Your next most important step, if you're there, is to apply and don't lie. What do you mean don't lie, Robert? Submit your documentation and let the numbers speak for themselves. And then you'll know your next most important step. It's either, yeah, I'm ready, we're going to move, or no, I need some more work to do. It's just that simple. And that's what we do. We simplify the home loan process. So if you're not there, continue to watch videos like these playlists that we have here. Comment in the comment section. I appreciate everyone that does in the community. Got a great community. If you have questions and you're sincere, you'll get an answer, right? Because when you're really seeking, you'll find facts. So you guys be good to one another. Let grace abound. And as I stated, watch these videos here, and we'll see you guys on the next time. Indeed, y'all stay blessed.